Hey, how are you doing? It's Alan here from Look for Warriors, and I want to talk about Think and Grow Rich again. In the book, he tells this great story. It's about a guy who came to him. He was unemployed. He was an author, and he was unemployed on tough times. It was during the Great Depression. And the Great Depression was a difficult time for a lot of people, and it was probably the worst depression there's ever been. But it's not a million miles away from things that I think we've all experienced. I think we've all gone through 2008, 2009, 2010, which was a tough time for a lot of people. Not Great Depression levels for sure, but difficult for a lot of people. And we're in Corona times now, and they're printing money because it's a little bit of uncertainty. Would I be right saying there's a little bit of uncertainty right now? Maybe, possibly, I don't know. Maybe people are okay. But where I am, you can't leave your home. And difficult times come up every now and again. So it's relevant, it's relevant, even though this book was written a long time ago. It's still really relevant now. And this unemployed author was talking to him, and he was telling him that he couldn't find work. And he suggested to him, and what he suggested to him, not the exact thing, but the structure, the idea, is relevant today. More relevant today than it was in that day. Because it's about helping other people. It's about helping other people in simple ways and being paid for that. So what he suggested was that he set up a bookkeeping service, at a very, very nominal cost. Now, this is about systems. If you're setting up a business, it's about systems. And for systems, I have other videos on systems. System Hub, set up systems for businesses. I have other videos on that, so if you go back through my videos, you'll find other videos about systems. But this is about systems that you can create a service. Now, bookkeeping, there's thousands of bookkeepers now. I assume at the time, and I don't know for sure, but I assume at the time there was no bookkeepers for a nominal cost. That's why it was such a revolution for this guy. But anyway, he set up this business doing bookkeeping for companies at a nominal cost, really, really low cost. And it became so successful that he had to set up a mobile bookkeeping service that he would go from one person to another person to another person. And he had to take on a whole bunch of people underneath him to get the work done. And in order to do that, you need to have good systems in place. There's companies that run without systems for sure. But a business that is stable and that will run over the long term, and that the owner of the company can walk away and let it keep running, is a company built on systems. The two most valuable things in a company, in my mind, are the client list, because without the client list there's no business, and the systems, because without the systems there's no real business. And with client list and systems, with those two things, the business is saleable. So he set up this bookkeeping company, and it became hugely successful. This guy, he was unemployed, who was in soup lines, who, I don't know these things, but I'm imagining he may have run after coal trucks to pick up coal to bring home, was now employing a number of people, was ensuring that other people during the Great Depression had food and had shelter and could pay their bills. He was also doing the same for himself, and he was looking after a huge range of small businesses. Now, I know today with lockdowns, small businesses are getting decimated for sure. Small businesses are having a difficult time. But this idea, not the bookkeeping exactly, because there's a huge amount of the competition in the bookkeeping, but to look now and see services that can be done for small business at a nominal cost that's really, really useful to them, is more relevant today than it was in those days. With digital and everything happening, and companies have to change now. Companies have to change. The companies that were letting people walk in from the street to buy stuff, they need to change. They need to change, and Amazon has given us the example, and Amazon have grown and grown and grown and grown and grown during lockdown. And they've been preparing. They've been preparing for 20 years. Is it 20 years? Maybe it's 20 years, maybe it's 10. But they've been preparing. And the companies who haven't prepared, not their fault. No one could see this coming. I didn't see this coming. Not their fault. But they need to start putting some stuff in place now to make sure they can get through these lockdown times. And, you know, there's good news. The virus has dropped and deaths have dropped out of the sky everywhere, all over the world. India mostly, but US as well, Ireland as well, UK as well. It's falling out of the sky. Sweden, and it's not to do with lockdowns, because it's happening everywhere. And no one can explain it. Some people are saying the 100 monkey syndrome. Some people are saying that after a certain amount of people get the virus, everyone becomes immune to some extent. So we're coming into better times, and you might be watching this at a time going, what virus are you talking about? This was filmed in 2011 when there was a global pandemic. So if I'm talking to you in much better times, great, I can't wait to get to the future where you are. Can't wait to get there. But there's never been a better time. And even if you're watching this in the future, after the pandemic, there's still opportunities. There's always opportunities to connect them with small business and give them an incredible service for a nominal cost that's really, really useful to them. Really, really useful to them. There's always opportunities. So if you're in tough times, if you're unemployed, if you're wondering how to pay your bills, look at that. There's always, always opportunities. And it's in this book. It's in this book, Think and Grow Rich. They suggested setting up a bookkeeping service that was hugely, hugely successful. And today, I'm going to leave it to you, to your intuition, to come up with what service is the best one to use. But there's hundreds now. There's hundreds now that you can help small business connect them with customers. That you can help small business have better systems. That you can help small business get their service or their product out to their customers. Logistics, whatever, however that happens. There's so many opportunities right now. So look for opportunities. Look for opportunities. And I just want to take you through the story of Think and Grow Rich, about how he went from being in soup lines to employing a whole bunch of different people and being so useful for small business. This has been Alan here from Look for Warriors, talking about Think and Grow Rich. Do me a favor, I want you to subscribe to this channel, hit the subscribe button and hit a like and give me a comment. What small business service could you provide that would make you very wealthy and also provide great service to small business?